Hollywood starlet. She was known for her parties, particularly the bash she threw each Christmas Eve, where she served every delectable cocktail and hors d'oeuvre known to mankind with her signature smile. Mom was a gracious and thoughtful host. Almost everyone in town showed up to her trademark parties, teeming our old Victorian house with throngs of people drinking, laughing, and gallivanting. My brother, Ernie, was at times protective and other times an utter goofball, knowing how to make me laugh so hard I was afraid my stomach would split. As a relatively quiet kid and lacking even a smidgen of athletic ability, I didn't take to sports or other team activities. But I did enjoy riding horses. When I was around 8 years old, I met Q-Tip, a small white horse, at summer camp. I fell head over heels. My love affair with riding compelled my parents to get me lessons. As it turned out, I was pretty good. A few years later, Dad bought me Reno, a quarter horse elegantly marked on its face with a white star. Reno was housed at a stable an hour away. He and I rendezvoused a couple of times a week, and like a happy couple, we trotted through wooded trails and learned to jump with elegance over poles and cavaletti. There was just something so comforting being alone on such a gallant animal, wind blowing through our manes as the horse galloped with a beautiful combination of strength and grace. My weekends were spent out of town at horse shows with my mom and horse trainer. Some of my best childhood memories are of riding, hurtling through space and time on the back of a beautiful and powerful four-legged mass of muscle. When I was in the 6th grade, my parents bought a farm in Brewston Mills, which was about 30 minutes from home. The farm was smack in the middle of nowhere, in a town with a population of like 5. Boasting panoramic mountain views, billowing cornfields, and acres of fields grazed by cows and blanketed with wooded land, it was our country haven. Mom was also riding horses at the time, so Dad bought 2 more. As beautiful as they were, these animals were untrained. If you ever want to test your patience or will, try riding an unbroken horse. Definitely not for the faint of heart. One weekend when I was about 12, Mom went riding on the farm. I was near the house, but could see her mount one of the horses and gallop toward the cornfields. As I diverted my attention back to whatever it was I was doing, a cry pierced the air. I couldn't tell if it was human or animal. Startled, I looked up over the field and at the same time saw the baseball hat my mother was wearing shoot high into the air. My heart started racing, and I hopped on the nearest quad, wheels spinning furiously deep in the earth. By the time I got there, Mom was writhing and whimpering in pain on the dirt. My gym teacher, who had been nearby when the accident happened, hovered over her. My dad was also there and immediately barked for me to go back to the house. There was no sign of the horse. My mom was hospitalized for a few days, and though she eventually recovered from her injuries, I was traumatized for life. I never got on a horse again. Without riding, life quickly got lonely. I was painfully shy and wasn't talented in the making friends department. But I did hang out with a small group of girls I had known since kindergarten. We would spend time together giggling and making up silly games at the many sleepovers I hosted at my house. We swam, canoed, and explored beautiful Cheat Lake, which bordered the back of our property. And we listened to and daydreamed of one day marrying famous boy band musicians, my future husband being Justin Timberlake of NSYNC. If it weren't for my mother's threats to kill me, I'd have gotten a full-sleeve tattoo of JT just so I could look at him all day long. The dynamic changed when I came back from spending a summer in Key West. I left the Sunshine State tanned and happy with fond memories of surf and sand. Missing my friends, I expected somewhat of a warm welcome in return. I was sorely disappointed. They turned on me. They called me names. They told lies. They started doing things and going places, making sure I knew I wasn't invited. Hurt and confused by the ice-cold reception, I withdrew inward. As hard as I tried, I couldn't figure out a reason for the drastic mutation from friends to foes. It felt pretty sucky to be blacklisted without a cause. I know now this is typical preteen teen behavior for girls, but hailing from a small town and being such a sensitive child, it rocked my world.